Recipe for crazy? Do I need to remind you? I don't know. I think you can read. It's Lana. I haven't slept, but I'm committed to putting out an episode every week. We're doing it. People are literally dying and at war. And I can't get out of my fucking bed to record a goddamn podcast episode and complain into a microphone for an hour. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? And while we're talking about that, okay, we're going to be all over the place today because I have a lot to say. This is going to be an unhinged episode. Warning, warning. We're about to earn the title today because I'm losing my mind. Here we go. If you listened last week, you know I have insomnia. It's still happening. Nothing has changed. What we're getting into it. There are so many things I have to say. I actually don't even know where to start. And I feel like I just recorded last week's episode like yesterday, but I guess it's been a week. Time kind of stops existing when you're not sleeping. It's just been like one long day. Like the longest day of my life since the last episode because I haven't slept. Like just sometimes I get like a couple hours in, a little nappy poo, if you will. Okay. Where the fuck do I start? How about we start at the fact that I'm the master of the universe? Allow me to explain. Not yet. That's just a little teaser. I'm just going to tell you I'm the master of the universe. All right. I didn't make this decision. I didn't choose this. The universe chose me. You can't really choose the universe. I don't make the rules here. I will explain. Don't worry. We will get back to that. First, I need to start with my thought right now. What just happened to me before I came on this recording. Here's another reason why I'm master of the universe. 3 weeks in a row now this has happened. 2 weeks ago. This is a new segment. Okay, fuck me. I can't speak today. I haven't slept. Give me a break. I told you this is unhinged. This is crazy. Bear with me. Okay? I didn't call this podcast Recipe for Crazy for nothing. All right, here we go. 3 weeks ago, I unintentionally created a new segment titled, What Happened to You, Man? It started with Dane Cook. Last week, it was Joe Rogan. Today, it's Amanda Bynes. Heard of her? If you're listening to this podcast, you probably have. Amanda Bynes. Okay. How dare I get on here and complain about having to get my fat ass out of bed to come talk shit to myself. I already am talking to myself 24 hours a day because again, need I remind you, I don't sleep. 24 hours a day, I'm living inside the prison of my own mind. Okay, talking to myself. Why can't I do that verbally? Let's take it from nonverbal to verbal. Amanda Bynes. Okay. Oh my God. One day I'm going to listen back to this and be like, one day after I go through menopause and when I'm like deep into dementia, can't remember my own name, I will reflect back onto this podcast, back onto a time when I was filled with hormones and rage and be like, who is that girl? She was crazy. Okay. Amanda Bynes, if you don't know, Amanda Bynes, what did she start on? All that. She had her own segment. Amanda Bynes is a pioneer for women in comedy. She showed young millennial gals that women can be funny. Okay. What is Amanda Bynes doing now? Getting her manicurist license. Okay. I have to say, Amanda Bynes, okay, when my mom got cancer, suddenly I thought I had cancer immediately. I was like, I must have it. Every day I was thinking about it. I felt like I could feel the cancer in my body. I got checked out. I don't have cancer. Now, the fear I live with is waking up one day and being Amanda Bynes. Like, how did Amanda Bynes get from being this cute young girl who shaped the minds of women, of young millennial gals, to being there's like nothing behind her eyes. Like she's like hollow. There's nothing there to like getting her manicurist license? How did we get there? How did we get from point A to B? Is it drugs? And here's the thing, not to get deep on you, but let me do it for a second, because I do actually know several people personally who were perfectly normal people and in college, oddly enough, woke up crazy. It's actually like very sad. I don't even want to joke about it because it's not even funny. It's actually fucking scary. And I live in fear that that is going to be me. It's like right now, I feel like I'm like cute crazy, you know, like it's like she's crazy, but like crazy in the sense that like I'll call you 10 times back to back until you pick up the phone. Not crazy in the sense that I'm in a conveyor ship. Is that what it's called? I can't speak. Conservativeship. But shut the, I don't know words. Okay. It is scary. It makes you wonder. It makes you want to start reading the ingredients on the labels of the food you eat. It makes you think twice before you do anything. I'm like, how many panic attacks am I away from just completely losing it? I mean, there's only so much a gal can handle. Or was it drugs? Like, was it crack? Was it crystal meth? It's like a similar thing with Britney Spears. But the thing is, this is not a thing that's limited to like young child stars. I've seen this in everyday people, things like this happening where they just wake up and they've lost it all. And you don't, they're like not there anymore. So I need to talk to a scientist. I don't know. We need to get a scientist on the phone because I am genuinely living in fear that that is going to be me. Here's the thing. Amanda Bynes, maybe, again, time doesn't exist. I don't know when this was. It could have been last week. Could have been 6 months ago. Could have been 20 years ago. But at some point in time within the last year, okay, let's be real. Within the last year, Amanda Bynes started a podcast. If you have the time, I encourage you to go watch it. She did one episode and her friend interviewed a local tattoo artist. I mean, the lights were on, but nobody was home. The thing I will say, the internet can be a dark, scary place. But one thing, so Amanda Bynes has a TikTok and she posts these, she like is keeping us all abreast to her manicurist life, her pursuit of getting her license so she can paint nails. I mean, I don't know. I thought you could do it for free, but she wants to do this legit. She wants to do this the right way. This is her new passion. Okay. A lot of times you go on people's pages when they're out of their minds and you go to the comments and people are just ripping you to shreds. Doesn't even matter what, like who you are, what's going on. People don't care. They just go crazy on you. But it is pretty sweet that there's so many supportive people in her comments and they're just like, go Amanda, we support you, whatever you want to do. Like, fuck yeah. Go people, you know? I love it. I mean, even Britney Spears didn't even really get that. I think because people thought she was like genuinely a prisoner, where Amanda Bynes seems like she's well cared for. But like people could be kind of nasty in Britney Spears comments when she allowed them back in the good old days. Amanda Bynes, people are being pretty sweet to her. I appreciate it. The reason why I bring her up, besides her being the third segment of What Happened to You, Man, I don't know why I'm saying man like that, but that's just what we're doing. It really makes me think, you know, there are so many fucking entitled assholes in this world who feel like they're too good for like an entry-level job or too good for certain things. If I don't say so myself, I might be guilty of it too. And I think we all can take a page from Amanda Bynes' book, because this is a woman who set the stage for us millennials and encouraged us to embrace our quirkiness. And if the Amanda Bynes is taking a test to be a manicurist, everyone can go and properly fuck off, okay? Who are you? Who do you think you are? Did you play alongside Channing Tatum in She's the Man? Okay. Did you steal the hearts of millennial girls? Amanda Bynes, need I say it again, is a pioneer. And now she's aspiring to paint French tips in the San Fernando Valley. What are you doing? What are you too good for? Fuck off. That's not even directed towards anybody. That's not aimed at anybody. It's actually probably aimed at myself, to be honest. I need to look in the mirror and say, Alana, who the fuck do you think you are? You can't get the fuck up and talk into a microphone. Amanda Bynes is out on these streets, working her ass off, burying her head in the books, fighting for the opportunity to paint Funny Bunny on some bitch's fingers. Get the fuck up, you piece of shit. That's my pep talk to myself, all right? Because I debated coming on this mic and talking to you guys because I was like, I'm like in a bipolar kind of mood today. I'm like, one second I'm feeling energy. The next second I'm like fighting for my life, about to fall asleep. And I'm like, do I just sleep? And do I, say fuck it? I'm like, no, I'm doing this. I'm doing this for the people. If Amanda Bynes can get up and go get her manicurist license, I can do this, okay? And let that be a lesson to you. What would Amanda Bynes do? All right. Let me set the stage here. It's 2 a.m. It's a Wednesday night, technically Thursday. I'm back under my mom's kitchen table, hiding, whispering, spiraling, unraveling. Why? Because I have a lot to say and I'm scared to say it. All right. Now that we got Amanda Bynes out of the way, let me tell you what the theme of this episode is. The theme is, men, why are you the way that you are? Why do you have to ruin everything? Okay, let's get to the point. Why am I the master of the universe? This is why. Last week, I put out an episode on a whim for no reason at all. I decided to tell a tale about a man that I called Daddy Warbucks. A man I haven't spoken to in months. A man that I wasn't expecting to hear from for a very long time. Who knows when? What happened after I posted that episode? He texts me. It gets worse. Did he text me because he heard the episode? No, he doesn't listen to it. Or maybe he does. But here's the thing. I think he's listening to this right now. And that's a problem for me. All right. I think I manifested this. I talked about it last week. And then I hear from him. Okay. If you didn't listen last week, what were you doing? Let me tell you, Daddy Warbucks, a guy, I dated him 10 years ago. There was a vibe back then. We've reconnected over the years. He's ready to wife. He was, I don't know about now, but at one point in time, he was ready to wife me up after me and my ex broke up. Didn't go for it. I don't know if there's still a vibe anymore. We're going to get to all that in a second. If you really want the details, go back and listen. It gets weirder. First of all, this is, I have a bone to pick. I don't even know where to start. Here's the thing. He is familiar with the podcast universe. Okay. He messaged me. What are the fucking odds of this? Where am I in the world? A rinky-dink town in South Florida. Daddy Warbucks happens to be in town for work. How fucking bizarre. Staying at a hotel 2 miles from my mother's house. Okay. He reached out. We talked. I don't even know why I asked him. Maybe because I'm desperate for guests and I don't have the balls to really ask anyone. I said, hey, do you want to come on my podcast? And he was like, yeah. And then I was all excited. I was like, yay, great. Then he's like, well, what is it about? Like, what's the vibe? And I'm like, well, first of all, you're asking too many questions. Like, just come on. Do we need to get into the weeds? Like, what are you worried about here? Just come on the podcast. We'll worry about it later. Like, what do you mean? You want to know what we're going to talk about on my podcast? Just come on. What's the big deal? Who cares? What are you, whatever. I mean, what do you think? I'm problematic? Me? Alana, problematic? Are you kidding me? I'm a perfect angel. So he goes and listens to my podcast. I don't know why. Maybe it's because my expectations for men are just so extremely low. I, for some reason, did not expect him to go listen to my podcast. And then I was reminded that I talked about him last week on my podcast in full, excruciating detail and laid out the inner workings of my mind and how I made attempts to sleep with a famous comedian who he knows. It was all riddled with betrayal, and I don't know. Here's the thing. This podcast is my private journal. What I say on this podcast is not the business of men who have ever entered my body. It is not for you. This is not your business. You should not know what goes on in the inner workings of my mind. Okay? These are my unfiltered, unhinged thoughts that should never be said aloud, let alone to any man who has a vested interest in me or has ever. It's not your business. I don't name names, okay? I conceal identities. This is my personal, private diary between me and the tens of thousands of people who listen to it, okay? It's not for you. And how dare you listen to this podcast? And he's probably listening to it right now. And what I have to say to you, Daddy Warbucks, is how dare you listen to this fucking podcast? So anyways, you are invading my privacy, my right to privacy, listening to this public podcast. Okay? Anyways, he listens to the episode and he texts me and says, like, basically, I'm not going to go back and quote it. I'm too fucking tired. But it says something along the lines of like, like he knew he was Daddy Warbucks. Obviously, I told explicit details. There's no other similar situation. This man knows me better than most people. He knows me extremely fucking well. He knows it's him. There's no getting around that. When I tell you that I was embarrassed, I was mortified. I just, for some reason, never thought that he would listen to it, or that any man that I've slept with have ever listened to it. However, I will say, if throwback, Teddy, y'all remember Teddy, he fucking listened to it. That's actually part of the reason why we ended things, because he listened to the episode where I talked about us sleeping together. And he thought that I basically implied that he like forced himself on me because I said that we took an Ambien and had sex. And I was like, what, at what part is that? He's like, it sounds like I drugged you and you just went through all that stuff with your ex and all the things that he did. And like, you know, I was like, I was very complimentary of you. Okay. And didn't even mention that the sex was extremely average. All right. And I faked a good 2 orgasms for you. How dare you? I put my all into that acting work. All right. You think that you could make me do that? No, sir, you couldn't. But I, built your ego. You should be thankful. He didn't really like it very much. And I was like, well, sorry, buddy. If you don't like what I said on that podcast, you are not going to like what's in store next. We should cut ties now. And I actually never said anything bad about him because I have nothing bad to say about him. He was a perfectly respectful guy. I just didn't like the fact that if you listen, it was the trifecta episode, the bonus episode. I think it was like my second episode when I was feeling really ambitious. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to do a bonus episode because I just love podcasting. Like, no, fuck off, Lana. You can barely do a fucking week-to-week podcast. And anyways, that was back when I was sleeping. So anyways, he listened to it and he wasn't offended by it. I was more offended by the fact that he listened to it. He wasn't mad at me at all, but he did take back the fact, he didn't say no about the podcast, but he was like, I can't be linked to Daddy Warbucks. And I was like, well, duh. How would you even get linked? And he was just like, whatever. So anyways, he's in town. So we talked on the phone. He finally knew how to push my buttons. And here's the thing. I'm emotionally unavailable right now. Okay. And I have a lot to say about this. Okay. I don't even know where to start with this. Okay. So here's the thing. Me and this guy slept together 8 or 10 years ago. Okay. We haven't had anything since. Okay. If he's listening to this now, what I am about to say, I would never say to his face. But in the off chance that he is now a regular listener and that he's hearing this, then it's meant to be. But if he's not, then it's meant to be. I'm letting the universe take the wheel here. They obviously took the wheel last week. So I'm just going to say this and I'm going to let it die. I don't think that I am emotionally available right now. The other part to this, before I say what I'm going to say, is I am not a casual person by any means. I do nothing casually. I don't sleep casually. I either stay up for a fortnight with zero sleep, or I sleep for 23 hours straight. Okay? I either don't work at all and am bedridden, or I'm in overdrive and I'm working 18 hours a day going crazy. I take nothing lightly. Okay? That being said, now that I've prefaced that, I feel like what needs to happen, let me explain this. So, Daddy Warbucks, when we reunited, when we initially dated, I was all in. I really liked him. He dumped me when he felt that I liked him, and he wasn't ready for that. He re-entered my life another time. That story's irrelevant, whatever. When he really barged through the door into my life, I opened the door. I made the first contact with him after my ex and I broke up. And he was ready to to date, seriously. And, he's ready for that. I was obviously not. I just got out of a relationship with a fucking heroin addict. Okay. I wasn't ready. And previous to that, got out of an engagement, back-to-back relationship, 7 years in relationship. I wasn't ready. I couldn't jump into another relationship. Also, I didn't even know if I even could get to that place with him. After talking to him again, and I saw him this morning, we went and got coffee. I feel like this is what needs to happen. I don't think I have it in my heart and soul to take him through the ringer of a friendship where I'm teasing him and playing games with him for months until the point where he gets fed up with my shit and tells me to fuck off like he did last time. I don't think I have it in me to do that again. That being said, when he makes attempts, so when we met for coffee today, he was joking about the podcast and Daddy Warbucks and was like, oh, so I'm your top 2 of people, best sex you've ever had. I was literally, if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm getting in my car and leaving. We are not talking about what I said in the podcast. I don't want to talk about it. I said it in a light way, not as severe as I just delivered it to you, but I was dead ass serious. I'm uncomfortable talking about my feelings right now because I don't know how I fucking feel about it. And I don't want to talk about my feelings with him to his face right now, but I will say it here. And if he's listening, then he's listening. And if he's not, he's not. And that's great. Whatever. Either way, it's great. Here's the thing. This is what I think needs to happen. What I think needs to happen is I think we need to just have sex. Because there's 2 things that will happen. First of all, the idea of having sex with anybody repulses me right now. I don't care if, I was going to say Brad Pitt, but Brad Pitt's kind of old, but yeah, I'd take it. I'd do it. If he was here and he's like, hey, let's go. I'd be like, yeah, okay, Brad Pitt. I'm who would I, oh my God, what's that guy's name from Saltburn? Oh God, can't remember, but you know who I'm talking about. If you've seen it, the guy, Oraldi, what is his fucking name? Who cares? If he showed up, I don't even think I could do it. I'm just there's something about living with your mom who walks around in her panties without her wig on all day, with her severe widow's peak that for some reason just dries a gal up. Can't explain it. I don't know, but nothing. I'm just not. I'm also just kind of happy not having any like man in my life right now. I'm emotionally, I wouldn't say stable. I wouldn't say I'm stable, but I'm as stable as a gal can be in my position. All right. And I don't really need a man coming in my life and fucking that up. Although I don't think he would fuck that up. But here's the thing that would happen. I think either two things would happen. Either one, we would have sex, and then I would have emotion. I would have feelings for him, and it would open the door to possibly dating, or it would be fucking terrible, and then we could just be happily friends. And then neither of us then we know. You know, I feel like that is the only thing that needs to happen. But then again, it's like the idea of even having sex right now, I just like can't. I don't know why. I just like can't. I just can't. I just don't even. I'm like not feeling the idea. Like even the idea of kissing someone right now, I just like, I'm just not in the mood. Like I'm like perpetually not in the mood for anything with anybody. So that's what I think needs to happen. But I don't even know if I can do it. You know? Like, can I actually have sex? Could I actually have sexual intercourse with a person right now? I truly don't know. If you listen, you know, I've had sex with one person since me and my ex have been broken up. And we had sex technically twice, one night, and then the next morning. And then we hung out several more times after that, but we didn't have sex. Because if you pay attention, he had herpes. Call me crazy, but I think I have enough on my plate. It's like, how many things do I need to explain to a man? You know, I'm staying with my mom right now as she's battling cancer. I have this insane Instagram and podcast where I divulge all my intimate thoughts and feelings on a public platform. I get canceled once a month. And I have herpes. Shall we not? I don't think I need it. So he was very respectful of his condition, and he had clear skies that weekend. But after that, we hung out several more times and like went on a trip together and did all this stuff. Clear skies weren't ahead. Didn't want to take the risk. Was feeling like this isn't for me, you know? Shall we not? But when we did sleep together, as mentioned earlier, I was on an Ambien and it was fueled by several Topo Chicos, and I just left my friend's birthday party and I was pretty drunk. I was up on the influence. I have not had sober sex with anyone since my ex-boyfriend. So technically, would we even say I had sex with this guy? Legally, I guess I have to say it because he's scared that I'm going to call rape. Listen, I wanted it. All right, buddy? Please chill. Point being, technically, I guess I haven't even had sex. Let's just say that. Because I was on Ambien. It was a fever dream, you know? I don't even know if I can do it. Can I fucking do it? I don't know. But I think that's what needs to happen. I don't think we can start this whole thing again. Unless he just wants to be friends, which I don't know if he does. I don't even know that I'm even ready. Even if we had sex and it was fireworks and it like opened up my heart, I don't even know that I'm ready. But are you ever ready? I don't know. Here's the thing. So we went and had coffee today, and like, I just feel very comfortable with him. Like, I feel like I can be myself. I feel like I can just whatever. If he is listening, he probably doesn't know. This is something I'm about to reveal to him, and I'm revealing it to you guys right now. So when we would hang out this summer, I would do this thing. My little game that I played. Let's just say this. Let's start with this. At a resting state, I hover like aesthetically, I hover at about a 3, but I have the capability of like maxing out at an 8. Okay. When I would go see him, I would work my hardest to get as close to a 0 as possible. I was trying not to even place on the hotness scale. I was trying to just be bare minimum because I knew he was attracted to me. So I would try to look ugly going over to his place. I would never wear makeup, not even a mascara, nothing. I would bust out my Cracker Barrel shirt. Okay. I have this shirt. It's my favorite shirt. I love it. I got it from a Cracker Barrel on the side of a highway. It's a gray, extra large shirt, and there's a giant Cracker Barrel logo on it. Do I like the Cracker Barrel? I love the idea of it. It's like my Kirkland. It's like my funny thing that I love. I love having Cracker Barrel merch. I think it's funny. I think it's my like quirky thing that I do. I wear Cracker Barrel merch. I love it. It's my thing. It's my aesthetic. It's my style. It's my trend. I like the Cracker Barrel. The food, don't care for it. The tchotchkes, live for it. I love a Cracker Barrel. It's nostalgic. It reminds me of being a kid, and it reminds me of my white trash days. You know, I love it. Anywho, I would show up in my finest Cracker Barrel shirt with my hair in a top knot, not a lick of makeup. You know, I might not even shower, you know, just to really look ugly. I think today when I saw him was probably the best I've ever looked because I wore a shirt that was fitting, but I didn't brush my hair, didn't wear makeup. You know, I was keeping my shtick going of looking ugly. After I left the coffee, I was going over to my cousin's house who lives an hour away, and my sister, her office is on the way to my cousin's house. So I had to stop and charge my phone because I was on 3%. Stopped at my sister's office. I go up there and she looks at me and she's like, why do you look horrifying? Why do you look ugly? And I was like, excuse me. And I told her that I was going to go see this guy. And I was like, well, I just like left lunch with this dude or coffee with this dude. And she's like, and you didn't even brush your hair? And I was like, because I told my sister this. I was like, I told you I purposely look ugly around him to throw him off the scent. And she's like, but you couldn't even brush your hair. I was like, shut the fuck up. How dare you? No, I couldn't. Like, this is my thing that I do. You know? How much do you really like me? This is me at my worst. Okay? You still like it? This is the ugliest I can possibly be. All right? Anyways, I want to be a reliable podcaster. I want to put my episodes out, but also this is kind of a selfish podcast because this is my message to Daddy Warbucks. Either you heard it or you didn't. And, you know, I might take this back. I might not even post this. I'm living in absolute fear of everything. And I'm like, I don't know. Going back to the extremist thing, it's like, I know that when I sleep with somebody, it will either open up like a world of emotions. Either I will be into you or I won't after that. And I think there's no more talking that he and I could do to push us into a dating situation. It would have to be, we have sex. Like, that's just like, that would just have to be the thing. But I'm like, it's like, again, like, I don't even know if I can have sex. My hymen is regrown. I'm extremely virginal at the moment, except for like the weird porn I've been watching, which we talked about a few weeks ago. But that's besides the point. How graphic am I being this episode? How disgusting am I going to be? Something weird's happening to me. Like I said, like, I'm not feeling sexual. Like, normally, okay, this is like about to get a little graphic, but normally I could just like stick a vibrator down there. I don't need to think about anything and it will just happen. We'll reach the finish line within 60 seconds. Lately, that's not the case. I've gone numb. Maybe it's the Lexapro, which is weird because that hasn't always been the case. I don't know. I just think I'm just not, like, my libido is just like not there right now. I'm just like, I think there's just like too much going on. Like, I have like just too much stress right now with everything in my life. I'm coming off of a major just depression again, and like just everything being here. It's just like, I just don't have it in me. And like, I am a lover girl. Like, when I'm with someone, I'm with you. I'm not cold. I'm like a very warm person with the person that I'm dating when I open that door. But there's no like in between, you know? It's like either the door is wide open or it's slammed shut. And right now, my house is boarded up. Like there's no entering my home right now. I don't even think I can crack a window at this point, but I want to. I just think I'm just so fucking stressed with everything. Like I talked about this, I think in last week's episode, or maybe it was the week before, just like all the categories of your life. Like friends is pretty much my only solid category at this present time, but every other category of my life is just blown up into shreds, into pieces. It's blown up into pieces. And I'm just not in a place because I'm so stressed about everything. I don't think it's like the right time for me to like be with somebody in this state. I care about this person too much to like hurt him ever. So, you know, it's like very hard for me to talk about my feelings for him because I don't want to have feelings for anybody right now. Like I was so hurt last year by so many things that I just don't think I have any space in my heart right now for anybody, which is why I think we just probably need to fuck. Oh my God. So that's my life right now. And who knows, he might not even be interested like that anymore, but I feel like he is. And I feel like we have a real connection. And I don't know if that's romantic anymore or if it's just like where our souls are bonded in some way. But like, I feel very comfortable with him. I can't say I always have because the first time we dated, I didn't feel that. But like over the years, I don't know. It's just like, I feel very comfortable. Anyways, on a lighter note, can I just say something? Okay, I recently heard about, this week, I guess, I don't even fucking know. I don't watch The Housewives anymore, but I need to start. But basically, there's like a housewife and Kathy Griffin, whoever, are basically coming out and saying Andy Cohen offered them cocaine. And it's like an abuse of power. And I'm just like, okay, like Andy Cohen offered you cocaine? Like, dare to dream. I wish. I'm sorry. Like, try coming on The Bachelor. Okay. First of all, housewives have a flexible schedule and get paid. People go on The Bachelor and Love is Blind. They don't get paid $1. And sometimes people offer you heroin. Okay. I don't know. Andy Cohen, a fun gay who created one of the most legendary reality franchises of all time, offered you cocaine. That's something for a memoir. Okay. You just say no. Have you ever heard of that? I wish I could do. First of all, I'm allergic to cocaine. Real story. I'm actually literally allergic to cocaine. I lived with a cokehead at one point and he basically forced me to do cocaine. I'm not suing him. And I got so sick and he didn't believe I was allergic. And I was like, I'm allergic. I did it again. I got so sick. I was like, I am fucking allergic to cocaine. I do a line and I have the flu for a week. Dead serious. Like, it is a real fucking thing. Anyways, like, this is a guy, when I say he's a cokehead, like this is my roommate. It'd be like a casual fucking Tuesday. He'd go in the bathroom, do a line, and then come out on the sofa and eat Indian food with me. All right. The guy had an issue. It wasn't an issue for me because, coke, side effect, appetite suppressant. So I got more it was a win for me. But who cares? Like, really? What? Shut up. God. Come on The Bachelor for a day. Be sleep deprived and have some fucking guy take you to a hometown and offer you heroin. Talk to me after that. I don't see any lawsuits over there yet. Okay, I have another new game. What mental illness is this? Let me tell you my latest issue. And please tell me if this is a mental illness. I feel like it is. Like my gut's telling me this is a mental illness. We're about to get graphic again. Normally I shave or wax my downtown bonanza. Lately what I've been doing, don't know how we got here, plucking my pubes. I have to say it's rather efficient and it's like kind of fun. It's kind of therapeutic and it's so smooth. You're like pulling the root out and it doesn't even hurt. Is that weird? Should I have said that? Is that going too far? Let me know. I don't know. Plucking my pubes. That's what I've been up to. The other thing, if he is listening, Daddy Warbucks, not to make this whole episode about Daddy Warbucks, maybe I'll even title it, Really Entice Him. No, we got to throw him off the scent. Maybe I'll call it, This Is Not About Daddy Warbucks. Here's the thing, if he's listening. One thing I wish he would change is his cologne preference. Since I can't tell this to his face and he just is so inclined to listen to my personal thoughts and my private, and he wants to like listen to my private diary. I mean, here you are. Let me just tell you what it is. What is with your cologne? Change it. It's kind of feminine. And you know what? I told you that before. We went to that barbecue that one night and one of your little friends said something about your cologne and said it smelled like a girl. You thought I was wearing it and we made fun of you. And then you were wearing it tonight and I know what fucking cologne it is. It's a fucking pheromone cologne. Did you put on the pheromone cologne because you knew you were going to come see me and you wanted to see if it doesn't work. It's not a pheromone cologne and it's feminine. Get a masculine cologne. Okay. Bucky, don't be sensitive. All right. Don't be sensitive. What's a gal to do? Anyways, that's this week's episode. Was it good? Was it bad? Give me 5 stars. Write me a colorful, nice review. Lie. Okay? Let's gaslight the people into listening. Let's combat the haters. All right? Oh my God. I went on, I've been going on Courtney Robertson's podcast and doing recaps of reality shows. Some bitch. These fucking Bachelor fans. If you're a Bachelor fan, you're listening, you're probably a real one and you get it and you're in on the joke. This bitch is in on the joke. I called a girl a butterface and she left a review on Courtney's podcast saying like, really? I don't even know what she said. Something like, are we really calling people butterfaces? Well, listen, how else would you describe a woman who is hideous but has the hottest body you've ever seen in your life? What do you call it? What would you call it? Sorry. She's not attractive. Neither am I. Like I said, I'm a 3. What do you want from me? She could move up in the numbers. She could be doing numbers, but she's doing herself a disservice with those eyelashes. And if you listen to Courtney Robertson's podcast, you know who I'm talking about. I'm not even going to say her name, okay? So I'm not even going to go there. But what else would you call it? All right? I don't know. I'm just calling it like I see it. Like I said, this is my personal diary. Do you want to be in on my intrusive thoughts? What I'm actually thinking or not? I'm not a good person. I'll never be a good person. But don't you fucking watch Love is Blind and look at that girl and tell me she's not a butterface. Don't you dare. How dare you lie? Who are you really like? You're lying to yourself, okay? What do you want from me? I'm not perfect. Trust me. I mean, you listen to me. You've seen what I look like. I'm fucking like average as fuck. I just know how to apply makeup and not to overdo it on the eyelashes. But what else do you call it? Everything butterface. I'm not trying to put women down. I put men down too, more than women. Men ruin everything, okay? Men ruin my podcast. They shouldn't be listening unless they haven't fucked me. Then you have permission to be here. If you have entered my body, you should not be here right now. This isn't for you. And if you ever intend on being in a long-term relationship with me, don't get comfortable here. This isn't for you. Ugh, how dare. It's just such a violation. God. This is supposed to be my safe place. But you know what I will say? It is nice that I can just say what I'm feeling and not have to say it to his face, because I just don't have it in me right now, you know? Anyways, that's this week's episode. Maybe I'll call it Butterface.